Welcome back. Up until this point, we talked about singly linked lists, and we should have a good idea of how they work. But what is a doubly linked list? Doubly linked list is similar, except that it links to the node before it. Let's have a look at a little animation here. We have a head node. Let's say we just have one node. You see that we have an extra block here. We're not really sure what this does yet. Now, if we wanted to add a new block to this list, a doubly linked list, and we wanted to add a node that contains the value 10, well, we would now have a pointer to the next node. We'd also have a pointer, this is the new part, to the previous node, and the new node is going to point to null. And this now becomes the tail. If we added another node, well, we'd have the 10 node point to the new node. We'd also have the new node point to the previous node. And then finally, that becomes the tail, which means it points to null. And that's what a doubly linked list is. It has an extra little block here, an extra piece of data that also links to the previous node. Now, why do you think that's important? Doubly linked lists allow us to traverse our list backwards. So up until now, we were only able to go from the beginning all the way to the end. With a doubly linked list, I can start from the end and go backwards. In a singly linked list, there is no way for me to know what comes before 10, what comes before this node. In a doubly linked list, that is no problem. It's exactly the same as a singly linked list, but contains this additional pointer to the previous node. And searching through a doubly linked list can actually be a little bit more efficient. And lookup can technically be O of n divided by 2, because we can start at both ends, and if we know in which half of the list what we're looking for is, we can pick the optimum place to start. Now, the lookup here is still O of n, because if you remember with our rule book with O of n divided by 2 is still O of n, but it's still technically a little bit faster. Now, the downside to a doubly linked list, as you can see, is that we might have to hold a little bit more memory, an additional block of memory. And we have a video talking about when to use doubly linked list and a singly linked list later on. But to understand this properly, I think we should convert our singly linked list that we created in the previous videos to a doubly linked list. So let's go have a look at how to do that. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.